in time. Oh my god. Hold on, let me get rid of these things. Ugh, go away. Welcome in, guys. How you doing? I have music that's supposed to be playing. Give me a second. Where did it go? Aha. Wow. Can you hear the music now? I hope so. I think I did it right. What's up, everybody? How you doing today? Let me close that. I don't need that open. Please stop. Go away. There we go. Scuff. Husky, I'm always Scuff. When haven't I been Scuff? It's our lifestyle, man. Go away. Go away! Okay, we'll not go away. It's fine. It's fine. You know, we don't need to worry about it. It's totally cool. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I missed y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna let a couple people get in here because for my first Just Chatting stream in a hot minute. It's fine. How you been? I have been good. How was cruise? I will tell you. TLDR, good cruise. I enjoyed it. First cruise ever, by the way. For anybody who, is just coming in. I have never been on a cruise until this cruise, so for my first experience, it was a good cruise. Also, I'm sorry if you hear me snacking. I'm a little hungry. I haven't eaten my din din yet. And I have been rationing my dollar bills because after the cruise, I don't have a lot of money right now. So I need to save my money for, you know, essentials like food and food for dog. And maybe a video game here and there. If I can afford it. Like Helldivers 2. Yeah. But, let me finish this. Crack my drink open. And we shall get on to the actual talking of the cruise. Un momento. Alright. Let's switch on over here. I need to go small. Put me small. Put me small. Yay! Go away. So, I would like to preface this little rant that I'm about to give you guys with I do not have photos of everything. I am a person who, when I go on vacations, noise. I try purposefully not to take a lot of photos because I would rather experience stuff in person. So I have taken photos for you guys and, you know, for memories, but I don't have a photograph of everything. So what I do not have a photograph of, I will try to be providing with the ye old Googles, you know. So let me pull up this first. And boop. Boom. There we go. So I will give you quickly an overview of what the cruise was and the ship I was on. So I went on Royal Caribbean here, as you can see. And specifically, I went on this ship here called Symphony of the Seas. And our cruise was an 8-day Caribbean, or 8 night, I don't know. Something like that. 8-day Caribbean cruise. So if I pull up the, let's pull up some Google Maps. Fancy, I know. It was very fancy. Big shout out, of course, to my grandparents mostly. My grandparents were the ones who, got it all together, because I originally was not planning on going on this cruise. I knew my family wanted to, but I originally did not plan on going because, at the time, I was literally just moving out of my house, which, for context, guys, I lived up here, up in this area. I moved all the way down here, over here. So it was a long trip, and it was a lot of money, mostly because I accidentally lost my debit card at one point. Yeah, I'm not smart. But anyway, so our cruise, and if we zoom out here, do the big zoom. Okay, too big of a zoom. Started down here, not far from Miami. We were in Fort Lauderdale. I don't actually know where Fort Lauderdale is on the map. Right there, just north of Miami. And our cruise had us going. I will tell you about the original route first. Did you have to use your credit card? I did. And the fun thing about that, Husky, my credit card already had stuff on it because I was paying off not a cruise. I almost said cruise again. A trip to a convention that I went to in Denver at the end of August of 2022, I think. No. Yes? No. I can't remember. It was 2022, yeah, because I moved out last year, so. I am good at remembering dates, guys. Don't worry, I'm so smart, I swear. So yeah, I was still paying off the last of that, and my goal was to have it paid off and not have to worry about it for a while. But then I lost my debit card, so I had to put like $600 worth of crap on my card for moving in, you know. Food, items that I might not have, you know, brought with me, all that good stuff, you know, getting set up, yada yada. So what was supposed to be like $500 or $600 I had to pay off left quickly turned into like $1,300. Which it was paid off, I will tell you. It now has money back on it again because of Cruise. Mostly because of my doggo. So yeah. Now I have to work on paying it off again so I can get ready to go to TwitchCon in the fall. And put more money on my credit card again. But yeah. Hey, listen, I'm living, I'm surviving, I'm staying in my lane, my crops are watered, my skin is moisturized, it's all good. I'm living my bestest life that I can. So, back to the cruise. So, like I said, we left from Fort Lauderdale down here, just north of Miami. Oopsies. And the original route was supposed to go from Miami to Haiti. I don't remember where in Haiti. It was like Labadee, I think. Anyway, it was supposed to go to Haiti, and then all the way down here to Aruba and Curacao, and then all the way back up. But for those of you who might be, you know, fairly up on world events, there's some bad, or at least there was some bad stuff going on in Haiti. So the cruise decided, you know, maybe it's not a great idea to bring a lot of people to Haiti at the moment. So instead of going to Haiti, they switched over to Jamaica. So that is where we went to instead. We went to Falmouth, Jamaica. And yeah, so the route ended up going like, stop like that. Go like, let me like gone through here, went down to Jamaica, down to Aruba, then stopped at Curacao, and basically traced our way back up in 8 days, which is kind of crazy. So let me let me see. Do I have the original itinerary here? I had a picture of the itinerary. Let me add it to the Discord, because I have made a specific Discord channel of all my cruise photos. See, I should have it somewhere around here. I hope I didn't delete it. I mean, if I did, it's fine. I can just put it back. Because, yeah, of course, you know, everything is on my phone. So, that's just how it is. Or, you know what? I'm going to check. Yeah, I'm going to check the deleted really quick. Come here. Come hither. Use my face view. Open. Itinerary. Aha! I did delete it. Recover that shit. See, this is why I'm glad I know technology. So, let me put the itinerary on, and I will go over with you the events that were to unfold. What? Oh, I might have to reload it. Hold on. Try that again. Itinerary, where are you? I know it's a gray photo. I feel like I'm losing my marbles, guys. Chat, am I losing my marbles? I probably am. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Oh, did I miss some photos too? I might have missed some photos. I've tried to get everything ready for you guys because I'm like, I'm going to be so on top of it. I am totally going to have everything ready. And I think I forgot 2 photos. Let me see here. By the way, there will be a lot of alcohol because I am of, you know, legal drinking age. So, like, that's what I did. Anyway, perfect. Okay. I think we got it. Yes, the marbles have been lost a long time ago. Damn it, you're right, though. Oh my goodness. My friend Dan has just warned me I am still in sub-only mode. I did not know this. I am apologies. Chat. There we go. I turn it off. I thought I was so confused because I saw it was in an emote-only mode. There we go. I should fix it. Hello, is everybody here? There you go. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you telling me that. I had no idea. I was like, it seems a little quiet in here today. See, again, as Husky has put in the chat, the marbles have been lost a long time ago. Yes, your voice may be heard. You say I smell? Chat, ban him! Anyway, I'm not Casey. Okay, but let me pull up the itinerary now. Discord. And we will go over the preview of the events for you. So I want to put this one in here. And I'm gonna take this. Gonna move. Stop it! Stop it, Google Calendar. You suck. And I'm gonna move it over. Ow, 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 ow. Perfect, I got it. I am a genius, I swear. Anyway, so here is our itinerary here. So yeah. This is where they changed the original itinerary, as you see the situation in Haiti. They suspended the trip from Labadee. So let me get a calendar. March 2024. And I will also show you the pre and post stuff. So I left for my trip Thursday after work, about 6 o'clock, because I had to drop my dog off to his kennel, which I was very sad about, let me tell you. As a first time, my first time my dog going to a kennel, I was so nervous. Careful about Google stuff, what do you mean? Hi, Gib! I am Confucian. Dan, elaborate, I'm confused. But anyway, so I left here to go fly down, or to go to my airport, and I got there about 8 o'clock. It was a little over an hour drive after I dropped my dog off. Or a little under, I should say. Sorry, a little under an hour drive. Total, it was about 50, 60 minutes between dropping dog off and getting down there. And then I had to catch my flight at really early in the morning. I'm talking, I had to be on a shuttle to the airport at 3 a.m. Because my flight left at 5:25. So, it was a lot. It was very early for me. And there was a little bit of a problem with that shuttle, first of all, because, when I booked it, I had called the guy, and I told him, I'm like, hey, I need a shuttle for 3 in the morning. So he's like, okay, when's your flight leaving? And I'm like, yeah, it's 5:25. And he goes, okay, oh yeah, 3:10, I got you. And I'm like, cool. So I hang up, I toss and turn forever in the bed, finally go to sleep, wake up at 2:30, get my shit together in my suitcase, and head down to the lobby. And I see, another family down there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was going to have company on this ride. And, we're sitting there for a minute. Eventually a shuttle pulls up, and, they walk out, so I tentatively follow them, because I'm like, I think that's my shuttle? I don't know. And I get out there, and, they're like, oh, are you going in the shuttle too? And I'm like, I think so. And the guy's like, oh, I didn't know I had another person for 3:10. And I'm like, I'm kind of looking here like, what? Hello? Did I not call the right guy? Is this a different guy? But he lets me in anyway, so we get my bag in the shuttle, get moving, and thankfully the family let me have the front seat, because they're like, we're all together, you're by yourself, you can have the front seat. And I'm like, cool, thanks. So we taxi on over, and he was talking about his schedule. He goes, I had somebody scheduled here for 4:10, and I heard that, and I'm just like, excuse me? 4:10? Because, chat, for anybody who's never been on an airline flight, it is recommended that for domestic flights, you should arrive to the airport a minimum of 2 hours early to give you plenty of time to get through TSA and stuff, just in case there's issues. Just downloading games because internet is just slow. Ah, fair. So, I was freaking out by the time I heard that, because I got to this airport, and I didn't know how this airport works. Like I said, I moved here not even a year ago, and I had never been into this city, let alone this airport. So I was very confused. I got my bag, put in and everything, and started looking for TSA. And this airport, as far as I knew, had only one terminal. So, and where you check in is like a C shape, like a crescent. I was on the far right end. And I started walking to the left because somebody was saying, like, oh, TSA is down this way, TSA is down this way. And in the center of the crescent, I see, like, TSA pre-check, and I'm like, okay, but that's not normal TSA. So where's normal TSA? So I kind of, like, half walk down to the other side, turn around, go walk back, and I'm just like, what? Where's TSA? And eventually, I see a bunch of people lining up at the very far end on the left side. And at the little corner, with, like, no signage next to it, is where the TSA starts. So I get in line, I'm waiting, I go through TSA. They had the canines there, you know, the dogs that sniff for, like, drugs and shit. I don't know about you guys, but I have never gone through a TSA that actually has drug dogs. And it was fascinating. I'm like, I'm not even mad or upset or anything. Like, I was just like, whoa, this is kind of cool. I've never done this before. Because what they do at this airport is they have, like a hallway that they have. And they have 2 X's taped onto the floor on one end of the hallway. And on the other end is the entrance to the rest of TSA. And they also have a bunch of fans, like, blowing towards you when you're standing on the X's. And you have the guy and the handler and the dog and the center. And the way it works is you line 2 people up on the X's, and at the same time, you are to walk across together, like, you know, like, say these are the 2 X's here. You walk across together to the other side, and after you've walked across, like, the dog will walk through the middle. And I assume that's why the fans and stuff were there, so once you walk past, your scent blows back, and the dog can, you know, sniff it. As dogs do. But that was fine, got through, got to my gate and everything. Flying would be too much work for me. I don't mind flying, personally. It's only when stuff happens, which I will tell you later, because that's towards the end of the trip. Well, there's a little bit here, too. And everything goes fine. I get to my gate, get to my boarding, you know, and I start boarding. And for those of you who've never seen an airline ticket before, like... So let me try and, like... No, I don't want... No, go back. Let me try and show you, like, a generic, like, airplane ticket. So, yeah, this is fairly similar. They're all a little bit different. But generally on a lot of boarding passes, as they're called, you have somewhere where it tells you your seat. So, like, in this instance here, it's like, oh, you know, you're in seat 11A. Also, computer eating all 20 megabytes, using only 10 megabytes for downloads, so gotta use data list. Sorry, chief. Anyway, yeah. So, like, in this instance here, you have seat 11A, because usually seats go by, like, A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D, E, F, depending on how big your airplane is. So, like, ABC is on your left when you enter the plane, and DEF would be on your right. So A is the window, B is the center, C is the aisle, D is the aisle, E is the center, F is the window. That's how it works as you go back. And the way boarding works, which I don't see on here, let me try and find a different ticket, because they usually board, a lot of flights board by zones. So, like, can I find a zone here? Does it have a zone? Yeah, boarding time. Boarding time is important. But I don't see, like, they should have, like, a zone on there. Or at least my flight tickets always do. So you'll have, like, zones 1 and, like, through 5. Zone 1 is usually for, like, people who bought, like, Premier tickets or something, or pre-check their baggage, all that good stuff. In the zone. Auto zone. Here. Let me see, this is an old ticket. No, okay, it doesn't have a boarding zone. Well, anyway. Yeah. So you board according to your zone. So they'll be like, you know, zone 1 is now boarding. Zone 1 is now boarding. And you go to your zone and get in line, and you'll slowly board onto the plane. A lot of times you're usually in zone 3, because zone 1, I can't remember exactly what zone 1 is, but zone 2 I know is for people who need extra time, usually people with mobility issues or active service veterans. Or people with children under a certain age, like, I'm talking like like babies and like very small toddlers, like 2 or 3 years old or younger. And then usually zones 3, 4, 5 is just, you know, normal passengers. And I get onto the plane and I'm going to my seat, which is like an aisle seat or a middle seat or something. And as I'm getting to my seat, there's two guys and a golden retriever. And I'd seen this guy in the lobby before. Turns out he had a service animal with him. So I'm just like, oh no. Thankfully, it was resolved very quickly. The attendant was just like, hey, just... Because I was worried that something had happened because this was a full flight. And usually when it's a full flight, people can't be moved around a lot. So the attendant's like, don't worry, head to the back. We'll seat you down for now, and we'll find you a new seat. So they did. And I got down to Fort Lauderdale, okay. And now is where we should get to the actual thing. So I arrived in Fort Lauderdale at like 10, no, maybe even earlier than that, like 8 in the morning. It was like a 3-hour flight. So I arrived in Fort Lauderdale. My mother had already had a shuttle arranged for me to pick me up. Shuttle gets me to the hotel, and pretty much the day is just chilling there. So the people coming on this trip are me, my mother, my 2 grandparents on my mother's side. All of this is maternal family. So the 2 grandparents, uncle, aunt, 3 cousins, and eldest cousin's girlfriend, making for a total of 10 people on this cruise. So it's a lot of people. And yeah, so we get down there, and let me see, I have some photos of the hotel. Or not the hotel. Yeah, actually the hotel. I'm silly. Let me do this. So I'm going to share the full screen, and I'm just going to move over my Discord and show it to you that way, if I can. Let me do it like this. Yeah, here we go. So we'll do it like this. So, first of all, here is the hotel, by the way. I was staying at an Embassy Suites. Never been to one before, but god damn, this was really nice. This was a really nice hotel, guys. I felt so poor just walking into this hotel. Like, I'm just like, damn, I can't afford to be here. And of course, your girl had to get some drinks. This was at one of the pubs we went to for dinner. And let me go boop, all the way up to top here. Here's another shot of the hotel for you. It actually had like a real waterfall. I was like, wow, that was really cool. I can't afford to look at it. Mood. And that's not hotel. And the other thing we found really nice at the hotel, me and my littlest cousin, we'll call her G. Me and little G walked outside to go look at the koi fish because there were just so many. Like, look at how many koi fish were in this pond, guys. Me, my cousin, and my aunt were just so excited to see these koi fish because they, like, when you walked over to the edge of the bridge, Dan, what do you want? They would swim up to you, and it was so cute. How dare you? Why would you do this to me, Dan? In the middle of stream? How dare you? So yeah, that was the hotel. Like I said, not a lot to do. We mostly just lounged around, talked about the cruise, went to dinner at an Irish pub across the street. Pretty simple stuff. And then the actual boarding came on Saturday, the 23rd here. So the cruise was lasting all the way from the 23rd to the 31st, which apparently this calendar, here we go, this is better. The 23rd to the 31st, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8 days. Sorry, Gib, you'll just have to check the VOD later. So yeah, and I have never been on a cruise before, so all of this was very new to me. And it was kind of like going through a second TSA again. We got downstairs in the morning, got on our shuttle, because let me see here. Yeah, because we had to depart at like 2:30, so our boarding time was like, or depart at 4:30, so our boarding time was like 2:30. Basically they had like 2 hours to get everybody on the ship, and I will get into the statistics of the ship in just a moment. But yeah, and you know, TSA titty sauce. That's pretty funny, Dan. That's pretty funny. They check our passports. They, go over the stuff with us, tell us how to get to the ship, get on this huge gangway, and get into the ship. And my dudes, it was crazy. So let me tell you about the Symphony of the Seas here. This is the ship for anybody who missed it in the beginning. This is the ship I went on. It was a Caribbean cruise. This ship is 1,184 feet and 5 inches long. Like, I don't know if that says anything to you, but that is a big ship. It is... has a gross tonnage of 228,081 and 18 decks total, 16 of which were for passengers. And it can accommodate 5,518 passengers at double occupancy, up to a max of 6,680 passengers. Think about that. There was somewhere between 5,500 to 6,600 people on this cruise ship. Ow! And that's just passengers. It also has a 2,200 person crew. So there's close to 9,000 people on this ship at a given time. Just let that sink in for a minute. 9,000 people on one ship. That's just, I don't know about you, but that blows my mind, personally. So, wrong one. I want this one. Yeah. Big ship, and I'll try and show you some images. So this is what the ship looks like. This one, it looks like a pretty good view. Can I make this bigger? Can I? Yeah, here. Yeah, this is the ship that I went on, and I will show you like the deck plans and stuff and some of the photos, because like I said, I don't have photos for everything. One of which being the entrance to what was called the promenade on deck 5, because we entered onto Deck 5. 9,000 people, geez, talk about claustrophobia. Yeah. I mean, frankly, it never really felt claustrophobic. The only place it really felt claustrophobic to me was on the upper deck here, where you see, like, all these pools and stuff. Because, you know, a lot of people want to lounge in the pools. And I don't know why I thought they'd be bigger, but the pools just, to me, were not that big. Dick 5, I missed them on Dicks 2, 3, and 4? Wait, what happened to Dick 1? But yeah, so I'll pull up the deck plan here first. So yeah, deck 3, like decks 1 and 2 are nothing special. Deck 3 had like a conference room and was one of the ways we could enter and exit, or head to the entrance and exit. Deck 4 had the theater, already had it. They had the theater, they had an ice rink, and just a general, like, another studio. The attic was usually like a comedy club / nightclub, and they had 2 casinos, one of which, the major one, was for people who smoke, and that one was for specifically non-smokers. And there were 3 dining rooms total, one on deck 3, 4, and 5. And a little sushi restaurant called Izumi. Oh, no ads? Alright, I will hold off on a moment then. For all of you who are stuck in ads right now, but let me get this image ready. So anyway, how's your day going, guys? I hope you're having a fun time. Oh, and if you should have any questions about the ship or my trip or anything, please let me know. I will be glad to answer them. 40 seconds till the ad's over. No more ads. I feel you, Dan. No more ads. The worst thing about that is, like, I can't even turn the ads off. Like Twitch doesn't allow me to turn ads off as an affiliate. Question, was it fun? It was fun. I had a very good time. I would personally do a cruise again. I know Dare has mentioned, like, maybe in the future once both of us have some more monies, because cruises are expensive, dog. Like ridiculously expensive. Like, a 2-person room for the 8 nights was like over $2,000. And that was just for, like, the rooms and, like, half the restaurants. That wasn't including, like, the drink package and shit. Can you take me with you next time? Lamau. Perhaps. Maybe one day I'll do a friend's cruise. I would love to do that. Anyway, so yeah, main dining room, and then we have a sushi restaurant right here. Deck 5, this was where the promenade was. So the upper part of the theater was here. There was a big spa. They had a very big spa. I didn't go into it. I wish I could have. Oh my god. A running track pretty much all along the outside of the ship, as I said. Another dining room, and this is where a lot of, like, restaurants and shops were, and bars. This ship had a lot of bars, which I was glad for, because I got the drink package, so that means I had basically unlimited drinks for the entirety of the cruise. Yeah, a lot of shops. On Air was kind of like a karaoke bar, which was pretty cool. Boleros was like Latino vibes, Hispanic Latino vibes. Then we get to deck 6. More spa at the here as well. Apparently they had a cafe too, which I didn't go into. A lot of deck 6 on this end is just rooms. Because deck 6 from, like, this staircase right here would lead down into deck 5. Because basically, around here is where it would stop. Beyond that, this is just all open air to deck 5. And another bar. This is where you planned your excursions. So that's what we did, like, day 1. And then they had the boardwalk. Which, actually, this thing here does have, like, a 3D map of the boardwalk. So you had, like, hot dogs, you had, like, a carousel, you had a sports bar, candy store, and then the Aqua Theater. As well as the exit to a big slide, which I will tell you about later. Deck 7. A lot of staterooms, pretty much just staterooms. Some of these don't have much on them. Deck 8, this was my deck. Me and my family, we were right next to the elevator, starting, like, here. 166 to, like, 170. Or was it 164? I don't remember. That was me. That was my grandparents. That was me. That was my little cousins. Or no, that was my older cousin and his girlfriend, little cousin, aunt and uncle. So yeah, we had, like, these 5 rooms next to the elevator. And this one had a park on it. And this park was really awesome. A couple more bars, more restaurants, stuff like that, yada yada, more staterooms. I remember right, decks 9, 10, and all this. Pretty much just staterooms, yeah. Staterooms. Oh, go back. Go back. Where'd the thing go? Ah, wah, wah, wah. Wah. I don't know what just happened there. Go back to the deck plan. Ow, my ears! Thank you, Dan. Let me try this again. Deck 9. Okay, yeah. Deck 9. Deck 10. Yeah, deck 10. Also just staterooms. Deck 11, if I remember right, also just staterooms. And part of a restaurant, which is not here. X! Oh my god, you scared me. Holy shit. Deck 12. Yeah, this is the entrance to the restaurant here, if I remember right. There is no deck 13, actually, fun fact. It just skips 13 because, you know, 13 is an unlucky number and goes straight to 14. 14 had part of the solarium. They had, like, a kiddie theater, the Adventure Ocean, stuff like that. I don't know what card room was. Nursery for people with littler kids. 15 is where, like, most of the pool stuff is. Deck 13 is not real, it's a ghost deck. I mean, technically there is a deck 13, they just don't name it deck 13, because, like, you know. Because it says 18 decks, but really there's, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So technically, there's 17 decks. Either that or there is a 13th deck and it's just a secret. Which it could be. But yeah, you had, like, the solarium, which this entire section here was, like, the 18 plus area. So kiddies were not allowed. Very nice, very quiet. A lot of whirlpools and stuff. Regular pool, beach pool, kiddie pool. Teen room and an arcade. Some tacos. Mini golf. Mini golf was fun. Sports deck. 16. From here, there's not going to be too much more. There was a restaurant on the front end. Another bar, and then towards the back. It's called Windjammer Marketplace, but it was actually a restaurant. Some flow riders, and the entrance to the ultimate abyss slide, which was really cool. Did they have Donkey Kong? I don't know. I actually did not go in the arcade. This was like a suite deck. Another kitchen up here. Most of decks 16 and 17 and 18 were pretty much for, like, you know, the up and ups, like big sweet people. So yeah, that is the deck plan for you guys. So there you go. But video games. Well, I also brought my laptop, Dan, and also, you know, being in the arcade was not really what I was, you know, hoping to achieve for the entirety of the trip. Because I wanted to, you know, like, I actually wanted to go out and experience it. And, like, I'll click on the things to do, and I will try to describe everything I did. I might not remember it all, but, like, yeah, like, they got skee ball, you know, they got laser tag. I did laser tag. The Flow Riders. Here's what it looks like at night, by the way. It is beautiful. Yeah, the Restaurant Wonderland. I didn't see this. Big Hair Bowl. Oh, they did Hairspray. Different restaurants. Oh, here's some more of the tourists. So here's the promenade for you, if you want to see that. So let me try and showcase for you. So this is the promenade, which I did not have a photo of. So this is what you got to walk down all the time. So this is Boleros. This is On Air. So this would lead me towards like my hotel room. This is a bucket. They also had this like wacky sculpture thingy here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. They had a Starbucks, which, funny enough, there's a cafe on the other end, over there, called Cafe Promenade, which had Starbucks items, because this one was considered a specialty restaurant, so you had to pay for it. But the other one, whoa, why am I lagging? The other one, you didn't have to pay for it. I think my computer's not like the tour. Alright, I can't do this for too long. Apparently, my computer does not like it. Oh my goodness. Oh, whoa. That lagged me out bad. But yeah, so, getting to the photos, this was our stateroom. They're very small, by the way, so this was for 2 people. And fun thing was, on an email before the cruise, no frames for you, pretty much, yeah. On an email before the cruise, they allowed you to specify some things, and it said you could have separate beds, and I was like, huh, cray. So I asked for separate beds, and it looks like it was just one bed that can split into 2, which is kind of funny. You can handle gaming, but not Google Maps. Not Google Maps. It was a 3D render of the ship, and then you had your couch, you had your desk, a drawer, and that's a balcony out there. As you can see, there's another ship over there, so there was not much to speak of. Here is the balcony view, by the way. So you had a chair on each side and your balcony. Very nice. And this was from the other side. So standing by the entryway, you had a TV here, and this was your restroom over here. So some of the photos. Here is part of the boardwalk. This was taken from the Playmakers bar, and that's the abyss, by the way. So this slide. If I can find another photo of the symphony again, is this purple thing, and it hangs off the back of the ship. So, like, it's actually suspended here, and, like, if I can zoom in, this is supposed to be, like, a giant anglerfish head. And you can see, like, the theater, there's the Flow Riders, there's the restaurant. I want to jump into Wata. Yeah, I did not jump into Wata all that much. So there was that. A lot of the first day was just exploring around. I went to the Park Cafe and I got some sandwiches. Very delicious sandwiches. So good. They did have water slides, yes. You can kind of see it here in this view, but there is water slides over here. This is not a water slide. I want to specify that. This is not a water slide, this purple slide. It is a dry slide. So no wata. But over there, wata. This was a view from Central Park, by the way. And, funny thing, when we were walking back, you know, because I saw it was this big garden, right? And me and my mom were thinking, like, there's no way this is, like, a real-ass, like, plants. Because, like, think about how much maintenance that would take. So we're walking back to our stateroom, like, the first day. And I'm just like, I'm feeling the plants for shits and gigs. So I'm like, I want to see how realistic these are. And I felt one plant, I'm like, feels a little plasticky. Let me try another one. So I try another plant, I'm like, oh, that feels kind of real. And I feel another one, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I look at my mom, and I'm like, Mom, these are real-ass plants. Like, this is an these are living plants. Just on the phone, hold up, I need to go to the bottom floor. Whee! It was actually a pretty fast way to get down. So yeah, there's that. Here's a view of the pools. As you can see, it was not very crowded yet. People were still onboarding at this time and exploring. There's the water slides for you, Dan. If you wanted to see that. This is the beach side, so you had, like, lounge chairs, you had the little pool, but, like, again, like, the pools to me were not that big, surprisingly. They got crowded very fast. Here's another view, too, on our way to the Windjammer. And yeah, that was pretty much like the first day. Was just kind of exploring around. I went to some of the stuff, checked it out. And let me get back to the itinerary here. And then like these first 2 days were just checking it out because we pulled out of port about like 5 o'clock or so, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then we started cruising. And all of Sunday it was just cruising. We were just out in the open sea, and pretty much all you had to do on the ship was whatever activities they had. Which, by the way, they always had a lot. And I had the app downloaded so I could schedule like a bunch of stuff and have like notifications on my app when cool stuff was coming up. And at one point, for shits and giggles, because my mom really wanted to try it, we went to the sushi restaurant. Originally, we were going to do the sushi restaurant for my little cousin's birthday. She turned 11. G turned 11 on that cruise. But turns out, scheduled these nuts. Hey, Lamau. Turns out, the sushi restaurant was really small. And as they told us when it came to trying to schedule the hibachi, 10 of us was like half their occupancy. So they said, no, too many people. We can't schedule you for that. And we're like, ah, shit. So me and my mom just went to go try it out for shits and giggles. Because, I mean, I like sushi, and I got my mom to like ramen. So, as you can see here, she had her tonkotsu ramen, and I got like a tuna lover's sushi and stuff, and oh my god, it was delicious. I wish I could have gone back, but again, it was a specialty restaurant, so we had to pay, and I didn't have that much money. But like, I love sushi. Oh, I love sushi. Oh, especially tuna. Here's another view looking down at the boardwalk. So, I don't know where I took this one. I think it was from deck 15 or something. Because there's Johnny Rockets, there's the exit of the slides, the bar, and the Aqua Theater. Let me see here. This is one of the drinks I had throughout most of the cruise. I drank a lot of these. These were called Curacao Cosmos, and they were really good. And I wish I could tell you what was in them, but I forgot, other than blue curacao and I think like Malibu coconut rum, but it was kind of pina colada-y. And they were really good. And again, I had unlimited drinks, so I had a lot of these. Between this one, a Cozumel Sunrise, and Painkillers are my 3 drinks that I had the most. Here's a photo when you enter out into the like Central Park here. Very nice, a lot of trees. Just a nice place to relax. It was generally fairly quiet, other than when they would play bands in the center. So, you know, it was alright. We mostly just walked to and through from here a lot, because as I found out, because I'm very good at memorizing maps, the easiest way to get to the Windjammer up there, because we ate a lot of our meals at the Windjammer, was instead of trying to fight your way through deck 15 and 16, because there was not a lot of movement room up there, we would just walk through Central Park where it was a lot wider, and then take the elevators up directly into the restaurant. So I got very familiar with the park. Here is this like scuba diving angel they had on one of the glass structures there, which I just thought was hilarious. Like, damn, I guess this dude he experienced high tide. Shaw. Another one of the park here. I don't remember where this side was. Oh, wait, I do now. This is called the Trellis Bar here, if you can't tell by the trellis. Again, very empty. Another shot. This one actually down into Central Park here, as you can see, the pathway. A lot of these pathways have this like curve, like infinity kind of symbol, figure eights type stuff. It was very nice. This was really cool. So this was what they called the Rising Tide Bar. I'm shocked that you weren't seasick. Well, fun thing, Mama Wolf. I grew up on ships a lot, so as a kid, I very rarely got seasick. And also, this ship is so massive that you hardly feel the waves at all. The only time you feel the waves is usually in the deep ocean where the currents and stuff could get a little rougher, but generally, you felt nothing. It just felt like walking on land. I know my cousin's girlfriend had like 1 or 2 instances where she felt a little motion sick. But even she didn't feel anything, which I think is really cool. Because, yeah, generally, like, ships this massive, it takes a lot to move them. And then, yeah. And this one was really cool. So if you see these pillars here, right? This is the Rising Tide bar on deck 5. So, I have a video of it later, but this deck, this moves. So, like, every hour or every half an hour, this platform will rise and fall from between decks 5 and 8. Which I thought was the coolest thing ever. Oh, I actually do have a picture of the promenade. Here you go, guys. This is what it looked like down in the promenade here. They also had this spherical Volkswagen? I don't know why they had a spherical Volkswagen, but they did. A lot of people were taking pictures of it. Or taking pictures with it. Let me go down here through and see if there's any other pictures of the ship. Oh. This was the stage down in the Attic Comedy Club. I actually did go to a couple of the comedians. Pretty good comedians, I would say. And yeah, I think that's most of the ship stuff. We'll get to that later. So let me go into what we actually did for events on La Cruz. So, starting here. So this one was the 25th. Day 2 is what they consider. So this is day 1, this is day 2. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I would be worried with that moving platform. I did not get to try it, so I can't tell you, but a lot of people liked it. So, yeah. Day 2, we arrived in Falmouth, Jamaica. And if you see these times here, these arrivals and departures, that is not including when they put the platforms up and down. So, we arrived at the island at 9, but you could not actually leave the ship until 9:30. Same with the departure. The departure, you had to arrive half an hour early, so in order to make it back onto the ship, you had to be back on by 5:30. And then the ship actually left port at 6. Which is very important. And I will tell you about something later. But yeah. One of the things I was told was if you were on an excursion hosted by the cruise, you didn't have to worry if, like, your cruise ran, your bus or whatever ran late past 5:30, they would hold the ship for you. But if you had just wandered off on your own and you tried to come back at, like, 5:45, nah, dog, you were out of luck. You were shit out of luck and stuck on that island. So, I had an excursion planned for this day. I had an excursion planned for each of the islands. This one being called the Green Cave Grotto. Because I was like, ooh, caves sound fun. You know, I want to go see that. Because there's really no drinking or beaches that I was really interested in. I'm not really a beach person. And that was scheduled for like 10 o'clock. I want to say it was like 10 o'clock, yeah. And I set my alarm for 9, so I'd have an hour to get up, eat some breakfast, get outside. And my mom got up a little earlier than me because she had an excursion earlier than me. And she wakes me up partially like an hour or so before my alarm was supposed to go. I'm like, what the heck, Mom? I'm trying to sleep. And she looks at me, she goes, you might want to get up now, or else you're going to be late. I'm like, what? No, my alarm goes off at 9. She's like, yeah, but you're not on ship time. And I kind of like look at her, I'm like, what the fuck is ship time? So fun fact, for anybody who goes if you go on a cruise. There is ship time, and then there is local time. Ship time usually goes off of whatever port you left from. So in my case, if I pull up Google Maps again, we left from Fort Lauderdale here, which is in the EST time zone. So all of ship time was on EST. But Jamaica was an hour ahead. So if it was 9 o'clock on local time, or sorry, an hour behind, I believe it was. Basically, if it was 9 o'clock local time, if it was 9 o'clock Jamaica time, it was 10 o'clock ship time. You see where I'm going with this? So if I had woken up at 9 o'clock to go to my excursion, I would have missed it. This is foreshadowing. I don't think I would go on a cruise in my lifetime. That's fair. I mean, it's not for everybody. I didn't mind it. I would do it again, personally. I had a good time. So anyway, I'm like, oh, okay. So I get my clock set to ship time, go out, have my breakfast, go outside, and I head out to Jamaica. Ow! So yeah, this is the photo I took from like the window of the Windjammer of Jamaica. It's a little foggy, of course, but yeah, you'll see more later. So you step out, and you get to see, like, this entire open area. There's shops on either side. Hi, dog. My dog came to say hi. And, like, later down that way, there's a craft market. Here's the fountain. It was a very nice little fountain. And that was pretty much me just walking down. I get down there, or no, was my excursion 11? I can't remember. I don't know. I get down there at like 9:45, and I am waiting for my cousin and stuff to come, because my aunt, uncle, and my little cousin G were supposed to be coming on this excursion with me. They were going to do it. So I'm waiting, and the lady comes over and tells us, like, hey, you know, it's time to start boarding. So people start boarding, and I'm like, I'll just wait a bit longer, because she said we could wait if we're waiting for people. You know, sometimes people show up a little late. It happens. And I'm waiting, and it's getting close to the time we're supposed to depart. So eventually I'm just like, fuck it. You know what? If they get on, like, a different shuttle than me or whatever, it's fine. I'll just meet them there. So we get on the shuttle. There's 12 people per shuttle. There's, like, 3 or 4 of them. And we start heading. And I guess she pauses on one of the bridges here. Well, the driver does, to give us a chance to take a picture of the island here. Very nice, very pretty. And then we get to the actual experience. So this is the Green Grotto Cave here. Basically, it tells you about the history and all that. I just took a picture of the sign. There are kitties there, too. There's some wild kitties there. Probably don't want to touch them. You know, diseases. But they were just so cute. And we get headed to the cave entrance. So I don't have a photo of it to show you guys, because I'm not showing you guys my face. But when we got to the caves, one of the things we had to do was we had to have your very nice and pretty Nustab. Oh, kitty. Yes, kitty. There were 3 kitties, actually. It looked like a mama, a dada, and a little baby kitty. So we get to the cave entrance here, and we have to put on hairnets and helmets because, you know, it's a cave. You don't want to, 1, bump your head, 2, in case of, you know, the off chance of falling debris. Now, let me pause the music here really quick. DJ, stop the music. And try and play this video. So, if you see here, you see a couple smeared shapes in this photo. In the entrance of the cave, there was a bunch of things flying around, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's bats! You know, they're gonna get us and stuff." But no, it was not actually bats. What you see in these smeared images is birds. It had like some type of swallow, and you can see these little like divots that go up into the ceiling, right? So there were these holes that went up into the ceiling, and these birds would go up there and make their little mud nests. So let me see if I can have audio of it. A very short video, but let me try to I'll make it a little larger for you guys to see. So yeah, you see they'd all flutter around and just go up into the holes and lurk there and come back down. Very cute, very nice. Sweet little birds. Pretty much just ignored us for the most part. And then here is where we get into the cave itself. And if you'll notice here, there are some like man-made looking structures, right? Especially like here, right? You see this flat area, there's like a door here and all that stuff. So, fun fact about this cave tour, there are actually 2 caves technically. And this one was the first cave called the Runaway Cave. So I'll give you a little history about Jamaica. So, back in the day, Jamaica was colonized by Spain for a time. And, you know, as colonizers do, they had slaves. So, you know, people there would own slaves on plantations, have them work, and occasionally, sorry, I just got a message from somebody and I was a little surprised, but I just wanted to respond to them really quick because it's been a while. Anyway, so yeah, so the slaves would run into these caves to hide out. Un momento. I am getting a call. Let me be right back, you guys. Sorry. guys. Sorry about that. I got a call from a family. No, well, I shouldn't say a family friend. Let's say that I hadn't seen in a while, and they were talking about plans that they were going to do for me and my little sister's birthday in the summer and all that. So I told them I'd call back. Everything's good. Also, I see Orion has asked for a Valley Girl, so that's what we're going to do now. Hi. I hope you guys miss me. Mwah. I love you guys. Hold on, wait. Actually, you know what? There's an ad break. I will hold off on Valley Girl until ad break is over, just so that way everybody can have a chance to hear the Valley Girl. I don't think Mama Wolf has heard Valley Girl yet, so I want to make sure that everybody gets to experience it. Well, let me try and recollect my thoughts here. Oh, right, cave. We'll get back to the Jamaica cave once ad break is over in like 50-ish minutes. So for those who can hear me, how y'all doing tonight? I want to check in with you guys again. I hope you all are having a good time, enjoying the photos. Again, sorry that I don't have a ton. I tried to get quite a few photos. A lot of them will be from the excursions. Because, yeah, I'm a person who prefers to experience a vacation rather than take up a bunch of photos the whole time. I know it's hard for content, but, you know, I just like to experience it. You know, it's more fun to experience it in person. Oh, and also, I will tell you about another thing. I will take a brief pause from the cave because I just remembered one thing that I want to share with you guys that also was really cool. 7 seconds, guys. We're almost there. Come on, guys. Let me know. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Welcome back to the Carolina stream, everybody. How are you doing tonight? So, I shall now redeem the Valley Girl, so that way, y'all can get what you paid for. Mostly Orion. Thank you, Orion, for the Valley Girl. Mwah. Kisses. Anyway, so I just remembered something as I was about to talk about the Jamaica caves. So, one of the events that I saw listed on the cruise was something called Hyperlink. And it was specifically listed for ages 18 to 24. 18 to 25. I'm 24, by the way. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, I can meet people my own age. This is so sick. So I decided to go to it, and let me give you a little bit of how it went, by the way. So can I go back to like the deck here? Where is the deck maps? I lost it. Please send help. Deck plans. There we go. I got it. It's cool. It's cool. So anyway, it took place on deck 15 here, specifically up in the solarium, which, as I mentioned before, is the 18+ area. At like late at night, like I'm talking like 9 or 10 at night, so it was pretty dark. And I get up here and I walk around and I see like there's a group of like, you know, people my age and like the whirlpool here, and I was like, oh my fucking god, is this a pool party? Because I do not have a bathing suit on right now. I walk around, see a group of boys chatting here, kind of sit around, because I'm just like, is this the hyperlink? I'm not sure. I don't know. So I walk back around, and like I'm just about ready to leave because I'm like, okay, I don't think there's a thing going on. And I encounter like a crew member in a suit here, and he's holding a piece of paper and talking to some of the guys. And I step over, and he's like, oh, are you here for the hyperlink? And I'm like, oh, so this is the hyperlink. Cool. Very funny, coincidentally, my middle cousin, we'll call him V, not G, but V, like violin. V was here too. And I'm just like, yo, V, what are you doing here? That's crazy. But anyway, we start chatting, and he's like, hey, we just want to, you know, get you guys together, because we know this is like a hard age for a lot of people to like find things. We have kid stuff, we have teen stuff, but we don't have specifically like, you know, young adult stuff, you know? So he's like, have some, you know, chat about, you know, get to know each other, and then like at about 11 o'clock or so, I have booked you guys a table at the nightclub down on deck 4. So we're like, sick, yeah. We're chatting up. I'm like, what's up? I'm Dakara. I'm from the US. How's it going? Met some people, went down to the club, had a blast, had some drinks, did some dancing, didn't get back to the room until like 4 a.m. So let's go. Pretty wild. And I believe that was day 1? I can't remember. I don't think I did this before my Jamaica trip, but anyway. I thought that'd be cool because I will be mentioning these people later on because I met up with them several times on the cruise. Very awesome. Loved it. Glad they had something for people in that age range because I was worried I was going to be alone. Oh, it's over. I was worried I was going to be alone for most of the trip other than seeing my family. That's why I brought my laptop. And I'm glad I didn't. So anyway. Cool. That's something I did. Really fun event. Back to Jamaica. So. This was Runaway Cave. This cave that I was showing you guys beforehand. With all the birds and stuff. And, to get back to the history, the Spaniards had colonized Jamaica for a time. Owned slaves. Then those slaves wanted to run away, because, nobody wants to be that. And so they would often run away into these caves where they could hide out from the Spaniards and, eventually escape. And that went on for a while until the Spaniards were defeated by the British, because it's an English island now, after the Brits came and took it over for a while. Until I can't remember when. I honestly can't remember when Jamaica got its independence, but it's its own thing now. But if you notice here, you'll see some, man-made structures. It's not that. I mean, that is a man-made structure, but that's not the man-made structure I'm talking about. This. There we go. Better. So, this stuff, right? And so, our tour guide was like, you guys are probably wondering, what's all this, built stuff here? Because there's, some stone bench, a table and benches. There was this platform here with a door. There was, some walls here, right? So it turns out, back in the 60s, this place was a discotheque. You heard me right. The cave was a discotheque. Oh, also my music is off. Let me replay that, please, and thank you. Put that back. Perfect. So, yeah. This place was a discotheque. And eventually they had to shut it down because, through conservation, they learned, the loud music was driving out the animals, and people constantly fucking with the cave walls and stuff was destroying its integrity. So, they cleared people out and fixed this place to be, essentially a nature reserve. And one of the fun things is, if you see this wall here, right, this little platform, they called this, apparently, the aquarium. And you know how, when you go to a restaurant or whatever, there's, a fancy restaurant, there's usually a lobster tank with lobsters, and you can sometimes pick your own lobster to have, boiled up for you to eat. They essentially did the same thing with this, but it was fish. So you could choose your own fish to be cooked for you. Anyway, yeah, there's some more pictures of the cave here. This was one of the holes leading out. They called it a twilight zone, which is, specific areas that, bats, this one specifically, sorry. This is a twilight zone where, so, bats and stuff that lived in the cave, because, yes, there were bats in the cave. I tried to get a photo of them. I think... yes, that's what this image is. These are bats. I was like, what is this picture? I don't even know. But yes, this little brown, blackish bundle you see here, that's bats. They didn't fly out of the ceiling, in case you're worried. Nobody got swarmed by bats. It was fine. I'd be freaking out because I'm claustrophobic. That is totally fair. I love caves. I know this is not a trip for everybody. So yeah, the bats would fly out here, and they have these specific roots here that are very strong. Our tour guide literally had one of the kids, a 10-year-old, climb up this root, no strain at all, no worries. Most of this is just cave images. Sorry if they're a little blurry. A lot of these I had to take while in the middle of walking, so, like this one. This looks like straight out of a horror movie, I'm not gonna lie. And then we get to this. So, interestingly enough, what the fluff? Yeah, I know. So if you see here, this rock is different because it's green, right? Does anybody have a guess for me on why this rock is green compared to everything else that we've seen in this cave? Because if you notice in the previous photos, there's no green, right? Well, I mean, technically that looks kind of green, but that's because, it leads up to the trees and stuff. But otherwise, there's no green. It's all just, grays, blacks, stuff like that. Generic rock. I'll give you 10 more seconds for people who want to put their answer in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'll tell you guys. So, the reason this rock is partially green is because it contains traces of copper. And for those of you who don't know about copper, when copper is exposed to the air and the elements for long enough, it oxidizes and gets this green coloration, also known as verdigris, or verdigris, some people call it that. I say it with a silent S. So that's why it's green. There's copper in those rocks. And now this was something, again, another history lesson for you. As you can see here, it's called an escape route. So remember how I mentioned Jamaica was under the control of the Spaniards for a while, until the British came? Well, the British came, and were beating the Spaniards' ass. So they're like, fuck, we gotta try and escape. So they did something similar to the slaves previously, and they ran into the caves. And eventually they discovered this route here that led out close to the ocean. So what they did was they would run into the caves, go through this escape route, come out near the coastline, and take a ship over, and they would hop it from Jamaica to Cuba, because Cuba was a Spanish colony. So yeah. There's your fun little history lesson for you. There'll be some more later, but don't you worry. We get some more cave here, and then this is where we start getting out. I was gonna say that, but I couldn't think of what it was called. That's fair. So we eventually got out of the cave and into the jungle because, there were 2 caves, actually. That was cave part 1. Why did it go all the way back there? I want to go back here. Okay, cool, thanks. I love it, I guess. Oh, it restarts. It's another set of photos. I see. My bad. So we walk through the jungle a little bit, and then we get to the next cave, where we see some more roots. Oh, and funny thing, do you see this little brown bit up here? Did you get survivors? What do you mean, did we get survivors? I mean, everybody survived the cave. Nobody died, if that's what you're wondering. Everybody was perfectly fine. Hi, Mariler! So, fun little thing here. This brown thing you see up here, that's a termite colony. Anyway. So, history lesson part 2 for you. As I mentioned before, with the runaway cave, slaves would run into this series of caves, and they would hide out from the plantation owners. But of course, you know, people need food and water to survive. Oh, gifts! Oh, I got like a magnet from each island, but I don't buy a lot of gifts. I also did not have a lot of money to buy souvenirs, regardless whether I wanted to or not. Was literally about to go to sleep. Well, thank you for popping in. I hope you enjoy some of the photos I'm showing here. But yeah, so anyway, the slaves would hide out in the caves, and of course, you know, as people do, we need food and water to survive. Thank you, Mariler. So, mentioning those roots before, ow! Thank you. The slaves would see these roots, and generally, you know, where there's tree roots... Sorry. Family is still messaging me again. So they would see these tree roots, and generally, where there's tree roots, there's water. That's the word, but I'm bad at spelling. A word? I forgot. Verdigris? Verdigris? I don't know. By the way, so eventually they learned that down in the bottom was water. I don't know if this is fresh. I assume this is fresh water, but I remember our tour guide said it meets out to the ocean, so I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, there's water down here. And of course, you know, it was very calm because nothing disturbs this water. It was so cool. And at one point, he even turned off all the lights on us. No, souvenirs! Souvenirs, yeah. Yeah, I only have magnets for souvenirs, one of each island. I don't have any pictures of them, though, I'm sorry. At least I don't think I do. But it was basically just a quick little magnet. One that says Jamaica, one that says Aruba, and one that says Curacao. The Jamaica one was a heart with the Rasta colors, you know, yellow, red, and green. It was glittery. I thought it was pretty. And it said Jamaica right in the center. But yeah, he shut all the lights off on us at one point. And, like, he tried to show... I tried to take a picture, but my flash went off. Like, it basically is a perfect mirror in the darkness like this. And he also said he was going to show us a ghost. And he shown his light up at this creepy-looking, like, rock formation, like a deformed face. It was really cool. Anyway, we down there, and, like, the darkness down there when there's no lights, you can't see anything. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. And think about that, like... The slaves would have to go down there in that level of darkness. They probably had to bring torches, I would assume, of some kind. Otherwise, it was pretty much impossible to see other than just feeling around. So we got back out, we got some more stone structures here. And there was also a wishing well not far from this assembly point. I just like these caves, so I took a picture of it. So I went into the wishing well at one point. You know, I didn't toss a coin in, but I tried to take a picture down in. I don't know if there was water down there. I can't really tell from this photo. But anyway, yeah, people would throw their coins down there. You know, casual wishing well stuff. Oh, go back here. Some more of the pathway. We eventually headed out. Try to grab a couple more photos. Slippery when wet. Again, sorry that these are blurry. I was taking these while walking. We couldn't really slow down. But overall, it was a very nice cave. I had a good time in it. I didn't mind the claustrophobia. Another, like, look at the twilight zones where you can see, like, entrances up into the jungle there. Whoa. Okay, loud. I did not expect that. So, I'll show you that in just a minute. That's another thing of the rising tide. But yeah, and then when we got done with our tour, we got some juice, headed back to our shuttle. Our tour guide told us, like, some of the national stuff about the island, like the national flower, like some of the fruits and vegetables that are here, meals that are common, all that good stuff. And that was Jamaica for me. I just pretty much stayed on the ship for the rest of the day. And then, yeah, I'll show you this. So, if you guys remember, back here, I mentioned this thing, this rising tide here, which is a bar that moves up and down. So I tried to get a video of it coming up. You might not be able to tell it's moving because it moves very slowly, but turn this down here. As you can see here, like, the platform is, especially over here, you can see it is slowly raising up. I just started calling this high tide and low tide, so whenever it got to deck 8, I'd say, oh, look, it's high tide. And whenever it went down, I'd say, oh, look, it's low tide, you know. Stuff like that. That was the stage. This is a view from the main dining room. We were in main dining room 3, so we were on the bottom level. Towards the back here, and, like, this place was huge. Delicious food. They had immaculate food. There's another picture of the dining room here. And, like, one day I had, like, I think it was just, like, it was not blood pudding, but it was, like, one of those, British puddings. This was, like, the British day with some roast beef. Yorkshire pudding, that's it. A Yorkshire pudding with roast beef and gravy was my dinner for one of those meals. I think I have another video here of the rising tide. Here, yeah, here it is coming down. So as you can see here it goes again. It came from all the way up there, and there it goes all the way back down. I was just fascinated by this bar. I've never seen a moving bar. I just thought it was so cool. And then, let me see, go back to the itinerary here. So yeah, I think it was on another day of cruising. They had this like, crazy show going on called Hiro. H-I-R-O. And, like, it was mostly just a lot of, like, fighting techniques and stuff, and acrobatics and all that. I can't begin to explain to you guys how wild this show was. I was about to say blood pudding sounds gross. I've never had blood pudding. I would try it, though. But anyway, I'm gonna warn you guys. Volume warning, this might be a little loud. I can't really control it until I click the video, so. Okay, good. It's not that loud. And it was all, like, in water, so these guys were doing, like, crazy, acrobatics and stuff in water. Like, here's some of the fighting sequences and stuff. I didn't get the whole show on video because, you know, I wanted to watch it, but, like, it was really cool. And, like, this thing turns into a pool, by the way, because people were diving from, like, 60 feet up into this pool. So, like, these platforms would raise and lower depending on what they needed. Yeah, it was really cool. And there was a girl who was, like, suspended on, like, ropes over the stage at one point. So she was, like, doing, like flips and shit. There was a tightrope, too, at one point. It was wild. I was really glad I got to see the show. The music was also crazy. I was expecting more, like, you know, with how the show looked like it was being presented, I expected more traditional Japanese music. But it was, like, Japanese music and dubstep. It was really cool. Alright, so that was cruising, if I remember right. The next day we got to Oranjestad, Aruba at 8 a.m. So the gangway went down at 8:30, and then I had another excursion, this time with my mom. It was called the Kuku Kanuku Party Bus. And I will show you the party bus now. Like, dog, if this doesn't show a party, I don't know what does. Like, this shit looked cool. And we learned, we learned that Curacao and, Aruba, both speak Dutch, but they also have their own local language called Papiamento, which is kind of like a mix of, like, Dutch, Spanish, and some African Creole in there. It was its own, like, you know, mixture of languages. I'm sorry, but 60 feet up? Oh, hell no, I'm afraid of heights as well. Yeah, I could not dive into that pool. I'm not a good diver. Diving scares me. But I like flying. Don't ask me how that works. So, as our tour guide was telling us, Kunuku there, the second part of this party bus here, is actually the Papiamento word for country. And cuckoo, well, I think we all know what cuckoo means, you know, your little... So basically, it meant crazy country party bus, which is hilarious, I think. Tour guide was really cool. Let me see, I think I have, yeah, here, like, there's all kinds of writing in here, you know, like, we are currently unsupervised, we know it, it freaks us out too. This one was like, never stand between a dog and a fire hydrant. It just needs lights, then it's a perfect party bus. True. They also had, if you see here, like, on the windowsills, they had maracas. Everybody got their own pair of maracas. And every time we'd pass by, like, a bunch of people, we'd just go, Oppa! It was really funny. And so on this party bus, we had a couple stops. So, stop number 1 was, Aruba's first ever Catholic church. So this is, before I get there, this is a picture of, like, Aruba's landscape. Lots of cacti. Aruba is very dry. As our tour guide told us, it's very comparable to Arizona in the States. Pretty much all desert, no trees or anything that is tree is, like, scraggly and dry and windblown. There's a lot of wind in Aruba. But the day we happened to arrive, there wasn't much wind. And as we learned, apparently, when there's no wind in Aruba, it usually means somewhere off in the ocean there's a storm going on, because normally Aruba is just constantly windy. Up, back here. And on our way up, there were, he said there were 13 crosses. I'm sorry guys, I wish I could remember what they symbolize, but I don't. And then, yeah, here's the little chapel. And, like, it was still used, like, people still hold, like, some services and, like, weddings there a lot of the time. Very hot, too, by the way. I'm sure this goes without saying, considering it's the Caribbean, but very hot and very humid. So yeah, this is the Chapel of Our Lady Alta Vista, place of worship. Very cute little chapel. Do you know what Opa means, though? I do not know what Opa means. It might depend, too, on the language you're talking about, because remember, these guys talk in Dutch and Papiamento. So, you know what? I'm gonna look it. Do they have Papiamento on Google Translate? I don't know. We'll look it up. No, let me try Dutch then. Because as he told us, Dutch is the official language of the island. What does Opa? Opa. Oh, you're thinking Korean. Yeah. Oh, I know Opa means like papa or something, or older. It says here that it says literally means older brother of a female person. But I don't think that's it. What does Opa Papiamento? If I can find it. But yeah, and also fun fact, Aruba is one of the few places where they speak 4 languages. Because they speak English, they speak Dutch, they speak Papiamento, and I think he said a lot of them speak Spanish as well. So yeah. So that was the first stop, was this this chapel here. Very cute little chapel. You know, they had the thing of Jesus Christ, Mother Mary. And he was telling us about these trees here. And how, when he first moved here, because it turns out our tour guide came from Venezuela. And he moved here like 30 years ago or something. And he said he learned that, like, goats at times would climb these trees and, like, eat these little... I think they're nuts. It's pretty funny. I think they were called, like, the Deepy Deepy or something like that. Or Pity Pity. I can't remember, something like that. I wish I remembered. This was a lighthouse on, like, the northern end of the island. Again, very hot. It was a very hot day, especially with no wind. And he told us a lot of times, too, in Aruba, especially on the, like, the northeastern side of the island, you actually need, like, ATVs to get around. Because at times, like, there are just no roads. So ATVs are highly important. And another fun fact about Aruba, since there's a lot of beaches here, all the beaches are public property. There is no single entity that owns the beaches of Aruba. So you could go to any beach, even ones in front of, like, high-end hotels like the Ritz-Carlton, for example, and you can just be there. That's just how it works. I thought that was pretty neat. There's also this parrot there. I just like parrots. Parrots are so cute. They're selling, like, drinks and other souvenirs over there, but I didn't actually walk over. Then we get to the beach. This was Arashi Beach. Very nice. The water, beautiful temperature. This was the one and only time I went swimming at the beaches on these excursions. I was there for, like, a good hour, an hour and a half. And then we got some drinks there. We were gonna get, like, beers, but the beers we wanted were out, so I got something here called the Aruba Arriba, which was delicious. I need to find this recipe because it was so good. It was like I think it was like a rum drink, but it was tasty, very fruity, very refreshing. And this is just a picture of some of the palm trees. They imported palm trees here. Palm trees are not a part of Aruba naturally. And for my lunch, I had, like, a Jamaican beef patty. Because I remember seeing these in, like, Spider-Verse 2. So I was like, I gotta try that. And then, yeah. So that was that. Then we went to dinner again. This was, like a bao bun type thing I had for my appetizer. Got some videos of my family, but I'm just gonna leave those. And then, I believe this was Curacao. Because, yeah, immediately after Aruba, we were there from 8 a.m. to 11, and then the next day we arrived in Willemstad, Curacao. So I'll show you guys the map here, so for those of you who weren't here. So we went from north of Miami, down here, through to Jamaica, and then we went down to Aruba, and now we are in Curacao right here. So this is the last island that we went to. And this was another excursion with my family, and this time it was my mom, my older cousin, we'll call him H, V, and H's girlfriend. So, cause V really wanted to go on this excursion specifically, because he is 19, and he thought by going on this cruise, once they hit international waters, he'd be able to drink. Wrong. At least the way Royal Caribbean works is their drinking age goes off of whatever port they left. So since we left from Fort Lauderdale, US, we had US drinking age, which is 21. So, he really wanted to drink. And as did we all, pretty much. So we got off, we got on our shuttle, very nice shuttle, and we were taken around to 3 different bars. They also have this bridge in Curacao, which is wild. So, like, back in the day, they had to protect Curacao during the wars. And one of the things they had was this bridge that would move to let ships in. And you know how, like, most bridges, when you think of, like, bridges that let ships in, it's usually, like, a drawbridge of some kind. So they'll, like, you know, they'll raise the platforms up, let the ship through, and then raise them back down. Or stuff like that. No, not this place. This bridge swings open like a door. So, like, the bridge you're seeing now, it would, like, swing all the way over to the left to let the ship through, and then it would swing back and go back to the original place it was in. I just thought that was wild. Like, who builds a bridge like that? But that's, you know, that was just so cool. They also have this image of a naked chicken, because fun fact, Curacao is big on colors. Apparently at one point, one of their, I think they have prime ministers, but one of their folks in charge had decreed that, you know, having white buildings or plain buildings, because at one time, like, most of the buildings in Curacao were not colored, but he said having, you know, plain buildings was bad for your eyes, and therefore you should paint your buildings pretty colors. It later turned out, in fact, that it was just because he owned a stock in the paint company, but it worked! So now all of Curacao has, like, these really, like, pretty colorful buildings, if you can see here. And they also really appreciate artists, and I believe it's, like, once a year or, like, for 1 week a year, artists can go around and, like, paint pieces on buildings. And you'd see that a lot, like, it was called Kaya Kaya. And, like, yeah, artists were just allowed to go and, like, paint around on buildings for a limited amount of time to express themselves, which I thought was cool. I also saw the statue of a dog or a wolf or something. Thought it was cool. This is, like, one of the chapels. Another fun thing about Aruba, or not Aruba, Curacao. I keep saying that. It's Curacao. Curacao. Oh, wait. Advertisement. I will wait until the advertisement is over, because I want everybody to be able to hear what I am saying. But yeah, for those of you who can hear, I just thought, I was like, damn, you know, artists can actually do art things down here. That's so cool. Even if it's just for, like, a limited amount of time a year where you can just draw on the sides of buildings. I was like, that's awesome, bro. I would love to, like, paint on the side of a building. I have no idea what I would paint on the side of a building. Probably some furry shit, if you guys know me. But yeah, I would paint on the side of a building in a heartbeat if somebody let me. All right, 30 more seconds. So anyway, I think out of all the places, I'd say Aruba or Curacao was my favorite. It was hard to choose, because, like, I liked Aruba because it had nice beaches, but yeah, there wasn't a lot of scenery to do stuff with. Curacao had a lot more, like, you know, lushness to it, but it was much more crowded to me than Aruba was. So yeah. Alright, we're almost back. There we are! Hello! Welcome back, welcome back. So this is one of the chapels that they had, and another fun thing, I don't believe I have a photo of it. Yeah, I don't. But Aruba's ground is so tough that they can't actually bury their dead. So what they do is they have all their tombs above ground. Which I thought was the wildest thing ever. Because, like, yeah, they gotta do something with the dead. Anyway. Morbid fact aside, our first bar was this place called Netto Bar. And it was one of the, if I remember, it was one of the oldest bars in Curacao. But not only that, Netto Bar makes this really fun product called green rum. And I actually have a picture of it. I bought some of it. Green rum. Called Rum Verde. And you can only get it in Curacao. It's the only place you can get green rum. And it's very nice rum. It has, like, a slight minty flavor to it at the end. And they made, like, pina coladas for us to try it out with. I tried a straight shot too, you know, of just the rum, hence why I bought it. But yeah, I thought that was just so neat. And another fun fact about this green rum, if I go back to the bottle there. If you see here, it has, like, this, the seal around the top of it. And all that. So, fun fact about, these bottles here. They do not make their own bottles for the green rum. So what they do is they make their own green rum, but then they get old bottles from other alcohol beverages, you know, alcohol products, clean them out, sanitize them, and then put their rum into the bottles and reuse them. So if you ever buy this rum, you will never get it in a new bottle. It is always recycled glass bottles, which I think is really cool, personally. You know, reduce, reuse, recycle. Here's another picture inside the bar. Very small. Very small. It was a little crowded with us, so a lot of us had to spill out onto the main street and just chill. Which I think a lot of us Americans were a little surprised at, because, you know, public drunkenness is not usually a thing tolerated in the States. And yeah, we started driving to the next bar on the other side of the island. Some more images. As you can see here, the houses all had very nice, very pretty. They're doing a lot of renovations in Curacao right now, because there were still some decrepit houses, but there's been a big thing going on of, like, the government basically fixing up old houses to, you know, make them more livable or usable for businesses, which I think is really great. Another image. Here's, like, the actual canal. So there's that swinging bridge I told you about. So this end you see right here would swing open like a big old door. And then swing back. Because it's all floating. There's no actual, like, solid pillars connected to ground on this bridge. This bridge is entirely free floating. Hence how it can swing open like a door. I gotta go back here. So then we got to the next bar called Bizarro Cafe. And I don't know the name of this drink, but it was a very simple drink. It was just blue curacao, some lemon juice, if I remember right, and a Sprite. And our tour guide told us something interesting. So, you know how there is a product called blue curacao, right? If you guys haven't seen it, it's usually like a sweetener, like a liquor flavor. And a lot of times you'll see it in the States like this, right? Usually it's like, there's like De Cooper. I think I have this version. But usually it's almost always called blue curacao, right? Well, fun fact. Actual authentic blue curacao is not called blue curacao. It is called curacao liqueur. Because curacao liqueur actually comes in different colors. Right here, this is the image he showed us. There are 5 different kinds of curacao liqueur. They basically all taste the same, but they just have different colors. So there's blue, there's red, there's yellow, there's green, and then there's like a teal. But yeah, but basically the reason blue curacao got so popular is because of Elvis Presley and the blue Hawaiian. So that's why you'll pretty much only ever really see blue curacao. And it is actually, funnily enough, the reason this liqueur got made in the first place was because this bitter orange was brought over from, I believe it was Spain again. And the Spaniards didn't really want anything to do with this orange. It was too bitter for anybody to eat. So they took the peels of it and basically got the oils out of it to make curacao. So yeah, there you go. There's a fun little fact for you about how curacao is happening. But this drink, also very good, very refreshing. Took some pictures of the art, because, like, this cafe, like, was very much a mishmash of things. Just kind of wild. Again, I guess, you know, that's probably why it's called Mundo Bizarro. But it was pretty cool. And we also got this drink called Brasa. Which, it's just a beer. But the thing about Brasa here that we got to try, it is the Papiamento word for hug. So the beer you are drinking is Hug beer, which I thought was really cool. It's just like, oh, that's such a sweet thing. And our last stop, yeah. What does that mean? Brasa means hug. Like, you know, I'm gonna give you a hug to hug your friends. And I just thought that was cute. It's like, aw, why can't we have that here? Like, I want to drink Hug beer. I'll drink Hug beer. I actually did not like Brasa all that much. It was not my favorite. It was a little too hoppy tasting for me. As my cousin put it, oh, the restaurant, it is called, on the front here, it's called Mundo Bizarro. Or Bizarro, if I try to do it without the accent. And then here, yeah, they had, like, Bizarro Cafe. What they called in there. I think it's just different coffees you could have. And then our last stop was here at one of the beaches, so I took, like, a bit of a panorama. And we got more Brasa there. Had some, like, a shot of tequila and a pina colada with, like, this really nice gay couple. They were so nice. And I also took a picture of the chandelier, because it's all recycled bottles, which, again, I think is really cool. I love it when people recycle things. And I got one more picture as we were heading back. Okay, but doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Our tour guide never told us, and, yeah. If it means something, I'm not sure. And then, yeah, one more picture of the island before I got back onto the cruise ship and left it for the last time. And at one point, let me see, where was... Oh! This was for my little cousin's birthday. So I got a bit of a story for you for this. It's a little bad. So, as I have said before, I did enjoy the cruise. However, there was one bad thing that happened, and it was at this restaurant. So, this restaurant was booked for right here. Day 5. We had just gotten back from Curacao. And this was our celebration dinner for my little cousin turning 11. So we went into the restaurant. It was called Wonderland, and it was very nice. However, let me show you something. So, as you see here on the deck plan, you see Wonderland on deck 12 here, but you should also see it on deck 11. I don't think this deck plan shows it. Oh, no, it does. It shows it right there. It should, so yeah. So it's a 2-story restaurant. And when I saw this deck plan at first, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I saw a staircase, so I was like, oh, okay, you must, like, you know, have the option to go to an upper deck if you want to have dinner, right? No, you don't. So, the way Wonderland works is it's, if the name doesn't give it away, it's Alice in Wonderland themed. But the thing that happens is you enter in here up on the 12th floor. I took some pictures of the carpet because it was butterfly themed. And the way to get into the restaurant, if you can see from this view here, is it's down. You have to go down into the restaurant. And the only way, as far as we could see, that you could get down into the restaurant was via a staircase. Which normally is not a problem, however, my grandma has a couple conditions. One of which, the biggest thing being polymyalgia. And in case people are wondering what polymyalgia is, let me get rid of this, we don't need this. Polymyalgia rheumatica, the full name, is basically a condition you get usually in your older age. And a lot of it causes muscle pain and stiffness, so it makes it really hard for her to move. So that's one of the big things. She also has failing vision. She's already got nearsightedness. It's a hereditary thing in my family. And she has something else going on in her eyes too. I can't remember. It's not cataracts, I don't think. It's something else. So yeah. So she's got poor mobility, poor vision. She also has osteoporosis, so brittle bones. And this isn't entirely relevant, but she also, I say she has chemo brain, because about a decade ago, my grandmother went through cancer treatment. She had gallbladder cancer. She's fine. She has no cancer. Before anybody is worried, she's made a full recovery on that. But I believe due to her treatment, she kind of has a little bit of short-term memory loss. She often forgets, like, questions she asks you. So anyway, with that context here, we had to go down a bit of a spiral staircase. If I can find the map again. Where is it? Deck plans. If I go back to, I think deck 12 shows you the staircase. Ah, no, not on this map. Shoot, okay. Well, anyway, it's a slightly curved staircase. And I was at the top of the staircase, you know, most of my family was in front of me. And I looked down, and on the second to last step, my grandmother tries to take a step, and as she told us later on, her vision made her think that the second to last step was shorter than the rest of them. It was not. All the steps were all equal height. So she misjudged her step and fell forward. And another thing is that at least my grandfather told me, you know, as he's lived with her pretty much all their lives. You know how a lot of times when you fall forward, right, usually you have some sort of instinct to, like, put your arms out or maybe twist in a way so that way you don't hit your head on the floor, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people do that, you know, when you're falling, you instinctively either put your arms or your legs out or something to try to stop your fall or cushion your fall, right? Yeah, my grandmother does not have that instinct. Is she okay? Yes. Long story short, she is okay. She's fine. She is injured, however. So what had happened was she tripped on the step and fell face first. No, like, didn't put her arms out or anything to stop her fall. She just face planted, essentially. And we helped her over, you know, the staff came over, helped get her up, set her on a chair, and we're like, you know, we'll call the infirmary for you, we'll get you checked out. And she's like, no, I want to, you know, have dinner first with my grandkids. So they're like, okay, you know, we'll send somebody to come get you after your dinner. So we walked her over to the table, and we had our dinner. And she seemed to be okay for the most part. She didn't seem to be in too much pain. But she did go get checked out eventually, which we'll get to at a later point, after the dinner. So we get to the dinner, and this was really cool. And I have a video of this. But this, what you see right here, this image, is the menu. And they had a fun little trick with the menu if you watch this. So you got some water, right? And you painted. And as you painted, you got to see the menu. So there it is, yeah. There's the menu. You actually had to keep this paper wet, actually, if you wanted to see the menu. Otherwise, it would fade away. But I just thought that was so neat that you literally painted your menu. We also got to see the Mad Hatter. Specifically, the Tim Burton versions of the Mad Hatter. And we got to try all of the appetizers. We each got an entree, and we got 4 of the desserts. And I will try my best to show, like, I can't explain these to you because this is a molecular gastronomy place, so, like, the appetizers were wild. But so we had, like, the bird's nest eggs, and everything was edible, by the way. So, like, this nest that it was sitting on, very edible. It was, like, bits of dry, like, fried tempura. We had crab cones. I did not eat these, but there was, like, crab meat in the bottom of the cone, and you were supposed to eat it reverse style. So normally you eat an ice cream cone from the top, but these ones you ate from the bottom, and you, like, sucked everything out from the bottom. They had, like, shrimp in a cup. And kind of like how you might dip, like, a biscuit or something into your tea when you're eating it, or into your coffee. There was, like, a sauce at the bottom that you would dip your coconut shrimp into. These all came very fast, by the way. This was a caprese salad. And, like, all of these bits were, like, formed together to make the look of, like, tomatoes and stuff. This olive here was actually just fluid filled. It was like eating a gusher, but, like, olive flavored. It was so weird. Cheese was great. Ew, crab and shrimp, no thank you. That's fair. I like shrimp, but not crab. This was what they called liquid lobster, which was essentially just a bite of lobster with a sauce and bits of caviar on top. You could eat it all in one bite. And I don't normally like lobster, but this was pretty okay. I don't mind it. It was inoffensive to me. This was my favorite. So, in these shells, there was, like, this tuna tartare in a sauce, and then they had ice on top with a bit of caviar to serve as a palate cleanser. I ate basically all of these. I love tuna, but specifically, like, the red meat tuna, not, like, canned shit, albacore. No. Like, chunked tuna, like tuna steaks. Some sort of vegetable salad. I did not eat this. This was another sushi thing, and I thought I would absolutely enjoy the sushi here. I did not really like this all that much. It was okay, but I really didn't care for it as much as I cared for the tuna in that weird shell. And then came the entree. So this was my entree here. It was a pork belly with apple, like, their own applesauce, dried bits of apples, some kale, and a pork rind. I'm sorry, but I only eat imitation crab with my sushi. That's totally fair. I probably would enjoy imitation crab more than real crab. I only got a picture of my entree. I did not get a picture of everybody else. Most everybody else got the chicken dish. My cousin got, like, this ribeye, or this plate of ribs that was in the shape of chocolate cake, and it was kind of weird. But it was still good. And then came the desserts. So on the right there is what they called the world, which I will show you in a minute because it's really cool. On the left, they had, like, a little mushroom garden, and if you see this little tiny mushroom here with the pink cap, yeah, this is cayenne pepper flavored. I tried it. It was a little spicy. Not my favorite. I preferred the actual mushroom to the cayenne pepper, and that was mango. I love mango. This was also the forbidden apple. So there's, like, a cake in there with, like, a coconut cake, and it was kind of weird. Like, it tasted good, but the texture was very, like, gummy, almost. So the taste was great, but my body just did not like the texture. Just did not. Vored! Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Here, I'll show you what they did with the world. So remember how I said there was something called the world here? That's my grandma, by the way. She's the one who fell. It was one of those, like, chocolate balls that they poured, like, hot liquid on top, and it would open up. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool, I think. And we also got a big old plate of cotton candy. Oh, wow. Who knew coconut was forbidden? Yeah. Coconut is forbidden. No coconut for you. If I remember it, I think that's all the dinner stuff we had. And then my little cousin next to me, right there, she got her own plate of the world for her birthday. So dinner went really well. Everything was fine. And then me and my cousin here, this is H, that I've been calling him, we each took one of my grandmama's arms and we walked her back to her stateroom. And this is where it gets a little sad. So this is the one bad thing about the cruise. So we took Graham back to her room, got her settled in until the doctors came. And then when the doctors came, me, uncle, my papa, and my mom all went down to the infirmary with her, because, you know, we didn't want her going alone. We wanted to make sure she was okay. And mom went into the actual infirmary with her. Me, papa, and uncle just waited outside. It took about an hour for them to do all this stuff. It was like 11, 12 at night, mind you, when this was going on. We didn't get out until almost 1 a.m. And what had happened was, like I mentioned, for those of you who don't know, there was a staircase to get down into this restaurant over here somewhere. She fell, hurt herself. And as the doctors told us, she got a cast because she had broken her ankle and she had broken one of her toes. Which overall was a lot better than I was expecting. I will say I was worried she'd broken a lot more. But she did break bones. She also mentioned that when she took deep breaths, not normal breaths, deep breaths, her ribs did feel a little sore, but overall her breathing was okay. I assume she's fine because my mom, after this vacation, has not told me that she has bruised ribs. So I'm going to assume, you know, since she's been to a real hospital now, she's fine. So yeah, she got a stabilization cast on and was wheelchair bound for the last 2 days of the cruise. And essentially was told that she would have a minimum of 2 months recovery. So that was the only bad thing about this cruise. Otherwise, it was great. And, like, you know, almost every night, me and my friends would go out and we'd have, like, some drinks at the bar. We'd do karaoke or all kinds of other stuff that I don't have video of. And then this was the sunset from, like, one of the last days of the cruise. Because after, back to itinerary. After Curacao here, there was 2 days of just nothing but cruising. So, for those of you who want to see here, it was from here. We were just taking 2 days to go all the way back up through here to get back to Fort Lauderdale. And a lot of that was just kind of hanging out. Most of the last 2 days, I kind of just chilled around. I didn't do too much. And for the goodbye ceremony on the last day of cruising, we went to the Bionic Bar, which is called a Bionic Bar because robots literally make your drink. And I don't have too much video of it, but basically, like, yeah, this robot cup arm thingy would go up. It would, like, push these bottles here to get the ratios of drink it would need. Would, like, shake it up and then pour it into a cup, and you would use your ID card to make sure you got the right cup. And it was just crazy. I wish I got a video of it shaking because it was so funny. It was just really cool. And we also went to the final comedian show at the Royal Theater, which was really cool. Very nice. It was a very nice way to end the cruise. And then the very, very last part of the cruise here. So we got off at Fort Lauderdale. We got in at 7 a.m. Me and my family got off at 8:45, and then we went back to the hotel and basically just chillaxed there for the rest of the day. Until we had some lunch down at the restaurant there. And yeah, and then we all went back the next day. Their flight left earlier than mine. It was at like 7:20, and I flew back here to where I am at like 10:20. And got my doggo, and now all is well, and I am here to tell you about it. So yeah, overall, overall for the cruise, I had a great time. And if any of you are wondering, like, would you recommend going on a cruise? I would, but also I would not. Here's why. The cruise was very fun. I had a great time. There was no lack of things to do. plenty of places to go around, plenty of events to meet people or just hang out by yourself. My only deal breaker for me as, you know, a younger person who is just kind of getting their footing in this world, obviously very expensive. Like, getting the room and the drink package booked for both me and my mother as 2 people would probably cost close to like 3 or 4 grand. So it was a lot of money to shell out for 8 days. I think for me the drink package was worth it because I like to drink a lot. On vacations and stuff if I can. I don't drink very often, but, you know, I had the drink package, so I was like, you know, when in Rome. Otherwise, some of the specialty restaurants were very expensive too, like the Wonderland restaurant that I was showing you guys was $65 per person. Which actually, by the way, I think they comped our meal because my grandmother fell. So none of us had to pay anything, but yeah. Other than that, I would give this, like, you know, a 2 thumbs up. I would, if you can go on a cruise, if you have the means to go on a cruise, I would try it at least once. I definitely have plans, if I can swing it, to do another cruise in the future. It probably won't happen anytime soon, because, you know, like I said, cruise, very expensive. I do not have that kind of money right now. I can, like, again, big thank you to my grandparents, because if it were not for my grandparents, this trip would not have been possible for me. The fact that they paid for my entire room and drink package, I am very lucky to have that, so I cannot thank them enough for allowing me to be on this cruise. And I'm glad I really got to go, because it had been almost a year since I saw my family, and I really miss seeing them. It was really nice to actually get to hang out with them again, especially now that I'm an adult and I can do my own thing and I can actually do fun things like go out to bars with my mom and stuff, which I couldn't do as a kid, obviously. So, yeah, that was my cruise experience. And before we wrap it up here, is there anything else you guys wanted to know about the cruise? Any pictures you wanted to see again? I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, whether it's related to this cruise in general, like this ship, this cruise experience in the Caribbean, or if it's just like, you know, cruise ships in general. As much as I can, you know, give you as an amateur cruiser. I'll just scroll back through these again. And I'm sorry if I don't have the answer for everything. I'm very forgetful, so did my best to, you know, relay to you guys what happened on the cruise, and I hope it was enjoyable. I hope you like seeing the photos, hearing about the experience, and yeah. So I was very much looking forward to sharing this with you guys. What was the favorite thing I did on the trip? You know what? That's a good question. I think... Oh, thank you, Loki. Oh, hold on. I actually did not have the bot ready. Let me redeem that for you. I was not expecting that. I totally forgot. But to answer your question, Mama, I will give you my favorite excursion and my favorite thing that I did on the ship. So my favorite excursion, I would say, was probably it's a tie between, like, the party bus and the actual drink thing. I want to say the pub crawl. Using Mix It Up, I see that is true, yes. I want to say the pub crawl because, mostly because I actually got to spend more time with my family. That's the main reason why I like that one so much. The party bus was nice, though. Definitely a close second. As for the ship, I'd say overall my favorite thing was going to the nightclubs at night with my friends, and we all just danced and had a good time. Because I like dancing. So yeah. I'll show you where the nightclub is too, in case I didn't point that out. I don't think I did. It was in the same place that they have the comedy club. Come on, deck plans, please. Click it. Click it. Deck 3, deck 4. That's what we want right here. It was right here in the attic. Like the bar was back here, and the actual like dance thingy was over here. So yeah. Any other questions? questions, comments, concerns, things of this nature. Oh, okay, interesting. I didn't read these. Otherwise, you know, I'll just switch back to just chatting while we wrap this up. So unless it... What color was my room? Oh! Oh, you know what? Here. Most of it was just, gray. So this is the actual room photos itself. It was just like a beige gray color. They had like blue accents, so the couch was blue, the bottom of the bed was blue. Like beige curtains, eggshell type gray or dove gray walls. Yeah, pretty standard hotel stuff. Least favorite experience on the trip besides grandma hurting herself. Ooh, You know what? I'll answer this again in 2 parts, in a way, because one of my least favorite things on this trip was rooming with my mother, mostly because I found out she snores, for one, and also 2, just the beds in general hurt my back a lot. I don't know what it was about these beds, but I just could not get comfortable. Other than that, I'd say, like, my least favorite experience was just the fact that, quite a few things on this ship you just had to pay extra for, like decks 5 and 6 specifically. Almost all of these, like the retail stuff, was very expensive. Like diamond watches, Gucci, Louis Vuitton bags, like 1600s fucking alcohol, nothing I could afford. What was your favorite thing you got to experience on the trip? I'd say, similarly, one of my favorite experiences was just the fact that I got to go to something like a nightclub. It wasn't quite, you know, obviously it wasn't quite nightclub, because it was on a cruise ship, but, like, I had been wanting to go to a club of some kind. I just never went. Usually it's because I would have to go alone, and I don't want to go alone. So yeah. And getting to meet new people. Like, I'm really glad I went to that hyperlink thing. I actually have a chat with them still, so we can message each other. We don't message each other super frequently, but, you know, it's there if we want to. Some of them followed me on my socials. So, if anybody is here, from that cruise, hi! You now know the real me. Sorry you had to see this. My favorite drink, ooh! Oh! Loki. That's a hard question. I had 3 drinks that I drank a lot throughout the cruise. At first, it was mostly these ones here, the Curacao Cosmos, but I think towards the end, I started drifting towards what was called a Cozumel Sunrise, which was like tequila based. So this one was like coconut rum, but I really started drifting towards the tequila at the end. Otherwise, one drink I got to experience that was probably, I think, the best one out of the whole cruise was either the Aruba Ariba or the green rum pina colada. But, I mean, they were so delicious. I like fruity drinks. So it's just, so fruity. I love fruity drinks. I have the green rum, though. So if I get a blender for realsies, I can make more green rum pina coladas because they're so good. They're so good. I must experience that again. I would go back to Curacao if for nothing else but this green rum. I would definitely go back for this bar. So good. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? Yes, no, maybe so. Don't you have a blender? I do not. This house, at least as far as I can tell, we haven't gone through all the cabinets in the kitchen yet, but as far as I can tell, this house does not have a blender, or if it does, it might not be functioning. So, yeah, this house doesn't have a lot of things at the moment, or at least we're unsure if they function. That's the problem. Best food on the trip. Ooh. I think, as much as I loved the food at Wonderland, I think my favorite food was probably... Where is it? It's way back here. The sushi at the Izumi restaurant. I love sushi. I love sushi so much. Especially this chicken. Oh, this chicken was so good. It was so light and crispy, and the sauce was so good. It had just a little bit of tingle on your lips. It's chicken. It was like fried chicken, like Japanese fried chicken. So good. It's called karaage. If anybody, or karaage, if anybody is curious about what this is. Glad I'm not hungry right now. Well, now I am. Thanks, Loki. I'm blaming you for my hunger. I wish I had tried the tonkotsu ramen. We wanted to go back to this restaurant a second time, but we never actually got around to doing it. And also, like, again, expensive. That's one of the only downsides about this Japanese restaurant, was because we didn't have, like, the full dining package as well. We had to pay for it, so it was fairly expensive. At least for me, because I don't earn a ton of money. I'm sure if I had a more well-paying job, this wouldn't be so bad for me, but between all of my bills and the fact that I only, you know, work 30 hours, $19 an hour, it was a little expensive. So yeah. There you go. Anything else? Anything else? I'll give you another 10 seconds if I see something on chat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. So with that, I'm gonna go switch over to... Hey? Yes? Oh, yes, huh? Uh-huh. I gotta change that. Did you have something, Loki, before I switch over to the just chatting screen, or just... I'm going to assume that you just want to say hey, so I'm gonna... Ah! Ah! Ooh! 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 Nope! Ow! Thank you for the howls, Loki. I appreciate that. Alright, and with that, I'm gonna switch over to start wrapping it up. Ow! Oh, I gotta move. I gotta move! Move me. I must become big. Big lady. Nope, wrong one. There we go! I did it. Here we go. Alright, everybody. So, I think there is where we're going to wrap it up for the rest of the day. I am very glad you guys got to join me for the cruise photos. I'm very happy that you guys enjoyed them. And yeah, thank you for letting me ramble on about my little vacation, since I don't really get to take vacations very much. She got big! Yes, I got big. You want us to know something funnier? I can get bigger. Hello. Hello, VTubing world. How are you? It's me, Nakaralina. You can really see my face now. I drew all this. Alright, back to normal size. Yeah. Alright, anyway. I appreciate y'all for coming around, sticking around, letting me ramble and rant and rave about the cruise. And that is going to be the last stream for this week. Hey, nice. So, yeah, catch me next week. We are getting back to the actual normal Tuesday through Thursday stream schedule. And we will be continuing our BG3 campaign Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. EST. We're getting towards the end here, because we're already in Act 3, so I'm not sure how much is left, but man, I am excited to see how it ends. And other than that, it is time for me to send y'all off onto your next adventure. So how about we go on over to my man's Glitched Rune, who is currently playing some Payday 3. Ow! Thank you, Loki. Who is currently playing some Payday 3 with the boys. So go over there, tell him how much he smells. Especially tell him it was me who said it. He loves being called stinky. I swear. And yeah. Again, thank you all so much, and I will catch you next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.